So the front collision sensor on the Nissan Maxima is right up here. It's right underneath the air duct intake right here. So we have to remove this. We have to remove the radiator strap and then get to the air or the collision sensor and unplug it and replace it. Of course, you always want to make sure battery disconnected before you start anything on this. So yep, here we go. Okay, so we want to remove the air intake, and what we do is we take these 3 bolts out right here. So we take those 3 bolts out, and then you're just going to slide this back in and then slide it out. You can put this to the side. I typically just stick the bolts back down in so I don't lose them. So where the collision sensor is at is right underneath here. So what I do is I'm going to take off this radiator hose support. Again, once I have it off, I like to just stick the bolt back down in so I don't lose it. So now we have access down in here. Need to get just a deep well socket. It's a number 10. These were number 10s as well. Okay, so what I like to do is look at the new sensor, and I see that it has two bolt holes on it, so I know that I have to remove two bolts or 2 nuts in order to get it off. Okay, so in order to do that, just come down in here with your ratchet and your deep well socket. Sometimes I like to take the ratchet off and just use the socket to get off the nut. There's 2 nuts on it down here. And of course, since they're nuts, you can't put the bolts back in, so be very careful not to drop the nut and lose it. There's one, and then there's one farther down, so kind of got to just feel your way down in there and get on it. And again, sometimes it's easier just to, once they're loose, to take the ratchet off and just use your hands to be able to get down in there. This one's a little more difficult. It's on the bottom, so you want to be very careful that you don't drop that nut down. Okay, there we go. There's the other one. So the sensor now just pulls straight off. It's connected to this wire here, and then you're just going to disconnect the connector, plug the other one back in. Just checking it. Looks really close to being the same one. Bought it from the dealership, so I'd expect it to be really close. Okay, so in order to get the connector off, these are different connectors than any other connectors. Typically you have a little push thing that you can push on it and pull it off. These are different. Straight screwdriver, stick right down in here, and you can see that this cover here pulls back, and as you do that, this wedges it back right here. So it's kind of, hopefully you can see it here. I wedge it back, and as I do, I just pull the connector straight back. So it pops right off that way. So set that one aside, get your new connector, make sure that you orient it in the right direction. And then this is the way that it goes on. You can push the back of the connector in, and then it just pops on. Got to kind of wiggle it on and get it to go on there. And then it just snaps right on. So there we go, new sensor on. This one had a barcode on the back, so I'm just gonna just take that off. It leaves a little sticker serial number on it. So now we can put it back on, and you just do that in the reverse order. Stick it back down over the 2 bolts. Put on the nuts. One. Again, just be careful not to drop it. And if you do drop it, you just have to find it. So we've all done it. Spent hours sometimes looking for a nut. So you just want to be careful not to do it. Okay. Now just need to tighten it down. There you go. That one's in. Don't forget to put the radiator radiator hose support back on. And I just use a nut driver, number 10 nut driver, just to make it a little quicker to get it back down on. And then just tighten it down. Usually just hand tight, but just snug it down with that. Then we're going to take the 3 bolts out for the air intake duct. You just stick it back in. It has this foam ring around it, and you just want to compress that a little bit. And stick it down in. Get it down in this side right here. Again, the same thing. It has this foam around it. You just want to make sure that you get it down in. Get the bolt started. Usually just work my way across the front there. Tighten them down. Okay, there we go. That's all there is to it. Make sure you collect all your tools, and that's how you replace the front collision sensor on a 2010 Nissan Maxima.